Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our last webinar of the series, Mastering B2B Marketing. If you've missed the others, I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and you'll find them all saved there on our YouTube channel. So I hope everybody is doing super well and is really energized for the session today. Nomanna, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling well. I'm excited. End of the year, it's Heritage Month in South Africa, so colorful.
We've decided to bring the kapow to you today because this is our last session and we're not sure what we're going to be doing next year, but stay tuned. Definitely subscribe to our mailing list and you will be notified of any awesome new events that we plan. But for now, this is our last one in the series. So thank you, Nomanna, for joining me again. And as you know, guys, Nomanna is one of our top digital marketers at Shift One Digital and is a passionate, holistic marketer who loves to bring great success to her clients. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Dylan. I'm the founder and CEO of Shift One Digital and the Digital Marketing Academy. Shift One Digital has been going since 2011. And we are a global agency that specializes in digital marketing that really helps you get the results that you are looking for. So we have everything under one roof. We can do it all for you. And the reason we're running these webinars is so that we can teach you what we know and what we know works. So a big part of what we do is B2B marketing. We do have B2C clients, but we are passionate about our B2B clients and our B2B marketing. And we've spent a lot of time sweating the science of B2B marketing, trying to work out what works. So definitely check out our old webinars if you've missed them. Previous webinars, we've covered all the big topics. Everything that you might want to know about B2B marketing is there. And if we haven't covered a topic, definitely drop us a mailer and we'll be sure to include it. So today we are talking about social media in B2B. And this is really, something that is close to my heart because I'm always banging on about trying to get to next level social media. So what social media is boring, everyone's doing it. So if we look at it, as a pyramid, at the very bottom, you're not doing anything. So there's people who have a business and they're not doing any social media. You're at the bottom of the pyramid. Moving up one layer, you've got the guys who are just doing the basics. You just like ticking the boxes. Maybe it's a lot of hard sell messaging. Buy from us. And then you move up the pyramid. That's next level. What are the elements and items on the next level? That's really where we want to take you today. So our passion and our focus is to really push you up that pyramid to understand the different things. And your job sitting here and listening, whether you're watching this on YouTube after the fact or you've joined us live in the session, your job is to action maybe one or two takeaways that you're going to effect by the end of this workshop. You're going to close down this webinar when it's done, this video, and you're going to go away and just do one or two things because that's all that you need to do to really see change in your business. So we're going to be talking about the social media landscape. There's a lot of different players in the room, a lot of different platforms. Obviously, LinkedIn is really the reigning champion of B2B social networks. If you're looking at this graph, you'll see that 68% of all social posts made over the first half of 2022 were, in fact, from LinkedIn. So a big factor in B2B marketing is LinkedIn marketing. You've got to be a LinkedIn specialist. We're going to take you through some of the hot points about LinkedIn coming up. But definitely, I think LinkedIn is the one to watch. Interestingly for me was Twitter, because I don't really love Twitter myself personally. And even for our clients, it's a tricky one. So, and obviously now we've got Threads, which is competing with Twitter, but quite different actually. So, but yeah, I think obviously LinkedIn is, when we're talking B2B marketing, LinkedIn is your number one go-to platform. And again, if you have a look at the average posts per week by network, you can see that in the B2B space, marketers are posting to LinkedIn nearly 4 times as much as they do to Facebook and 18 times more than Instagram. So you definitely need to be looking at your posts and your post frequency. I think one post per day for LinkedIn over a 24-hour period is fine. But if you start posting too much, actually LinkedIn is going to start working against you. Twitter, you can get away with more posts per day. Excuse me. But it's always to remember that in the B2B space, you know, you're looking for interaction and you're looking for engagement. You're not looking for just blah, 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 blah. You're looking to get people, create posts that create dialogue, which is really what Threads is there for. Like, how can we create dialogue? And LinkedIn is prioritizing, you know, engagement back, not people just going, oh, great post, but people actually thoughtfully. And, you know, if you're creating provocative content that's getting people to respond and really like think what they're about, you know, like create like weighty responses, that is really where you need to be playing. So it takes a lot of headroom and it takes a lot of sweating. I always use the word sweat it. So you've really got to sweat it. So if we look at it, if we look at the type of content that's going out there in terms of engagement, I mean, obviously you would think that video has the most engagement because we've been banging on about video almost every single one of our webinars. But interestingly enough, your carousel posts came out tops. And so carousel posts are outperforming every other kind of post, including video, in earning 2.4 times more engagement than any other type of social post. So I definitely think even on LinkedIn, even personally, I can vouch for it. There's some beautiful carousel posts on LinkedIn, and somehow the LinkedIn carousel draws me in way more than any other platform's carousel. I love the LinkedIn carousel. And I've seen companies create beautiful carousels, like mini newsletters where it's just like one nugget after the next, like a tiny mini magazine that you're just flicking through. It's so engaging. It really draws you down. So definitely be adding your carousel posts in, as well as your video coming up second to any kind of content. GIFs came in quite low, and I think that's not because people don't like GIFs, but it's because people aren't using GIFs. People aren't actually posting a lot of GIFs. So that's also something that the GIFs are kind of like a video, but are really way smaller. They're animated content. So I do think that GIFs would have a higher engagement if used more. And then I do want to say something for text only. So you don't always have to create content with an image, especially if you're posting as a thought leader. You don't always, an image doesn't always have to accompany every single post. If you're a thought leader, you could just go with plain text as well. So if you are posting for your CEOs or for your exco or for your subject matter experts, it doesn't always have to have an image as well. So just to bear that in mind. And then if you have a look here at our conversion rates, so interestingly, Twitter coming in quite high on conversion rates, and then obviously followed by LinkedIn. So that's definitely something to explore. We're going to be taking you through our paid ads as well, and some of the paid ad strategies that you can be using on social media. Next, I'm going to ask Nomanna to talk through social media goals.
Hi, everybody. So now I'm just going to really go into how your goals determine your content. And this is very essential for us as B2B marketing specialists, and to be able to sit down and make sure that your social media goals align with your business goals. I'm taking a lot of us back to basics, but I feel like being in the B2B space, being a marketer, making sure that you understand the basics is very important into getting the main goals achieved. So aligning social media first, aligning your objective to your business objectives. And a lot of people will come and be like, okay, my business objective is to get leads and sales. What does social media marketing have to do with that? And all I can say is social media marketing isn't meant to wrap up your sales. Social media marketing, your content isn't going to get you leads and sales. That's what ads are there for. But what it does is it helps you kind of build trust with your customers. I'm going to use a quick analogy of basic sales principles. Back in the day, when I say back in the day, maybe 10, 15 years ago, we would be in a mall, and a lot of marketers, you might have noticed this, we'll go to the customer and be like, hey, please fill in a form. We are selling air fryers, we are selling a new car. And what would happen is people would be like, no, I'm not interested. Or they will look at you and know that you're selling to them. Where social media marketing content comes in, it is there to build the rapport part. Top salespeople are those who are able to approach customers, make them feel comfortable, make them feel like they are there to help them solve problems, have conversation, build rapport, and then those people will have in the back of their minds and be like, I saw Nomanna and she's speaking about air fryers and she told me this will help me for A, B, and C. And I liked her personality. I liked the way she looked. I love the energy she brought. Now we're taking those concepts, we're migrating them into the digital space. You want to build trust, you need to be building trust through your content. You want to build brand awareness without hard sell, you're going to be doing that through your content, whether your social post, whether your email marketing. So social media content helps you kind of helps you support lead generation. So I'm just going to go into what social media marketing doesn't really help you with content wise. It's not hot sell. As I said, your ads drives your B2B sales. It helps you get more leads. But what content does, build trust, brand awareness, makes you an expert. Nobody wants to buy from somebody that they don't believe will help them. Let me go to the next slide. The next thing is audiences. So I think I did say that I'm taking you back to basics. I'm a digital marketing specialist. And a lot of the times we think about the bigger picture. We sit there, we think about the bigger picture. We're trying to, get more conversions. We're sitting there and we sometimes stray away from our personas. So once you're sitting there thinking to yourself, how do I capitalize on the best channels to reach my business goal, to reach my social media goal, you need to go back to your persona charts. You need to know, what are their pain points? Who am I talking to? Guys, this sounds like very redundant. We have spoken about this in previous webinars, but the reason why it comes back time and time again is this is where we fail. This is where, after spending so much money, so much time, so much effort, putting so much content out there, and we're like, why aren't we converting? Why aren't we doing anything? It's sometimes because we stray away from the basics. So please have your personas up, have your whole team, your stakeholders sit there and look at the personas, understand who you're marketing to, because that is highly, highly essential.
Right. Yeah, if I can just jump in, Nomanna, as everyone knows, I'm a big fan of this, and the target market table that Amahle has shared with you in the chat. Go to our website and check out our free target market table. Now, I love the target market table because that helps you to really unpack your thinking, and you can identify different stakeholder groups, and you might identify 3 top customer audiences that are your most important audiences that you want to profile. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is to create posts for these audiences. Don't mush them all together. Don't mix the messaging up. Don't accidentally put the wrong message with the wrong audience, and start your post by saying CEOs, and then talk to the needs of the CEO. Calling all CTOs out there, and then talk to the needs of the CTO. So that's kind of a really practical way that you can take this table, or, if you want to make it more visual, make it into a pretty persona chart like this, you can. But at the end of the day, don't mix up your messaging to the wrong audience. And make sure that you have unpacked it in the table before you unpack it in this pretty diagrammatic representation, which is the persona chart. By the way, I'm joined by my little doggy, Izzy. And she is a very good marketer because she sits and listens to all my meetings. All right. So thank you, Nomanna, for that. Let's talk about some of your messaging. So now that you have worked out who your target market is, you can now sit down and do a story brand, workshop for each of your different audiences, for each of your different products, for the company as a whole. So you can do you should do multiple of these brand story workshops. And this is what we do with our clients. We sit down, we do a holistic one for the brand as a whole. Then you dive into each of the different product types. You can do one for each persona and one for each audience type. And these are so important, because what these workshops do when we facilitate them, we help you stop thinking of yourself as the hero, and we help you get into you are the guide mentality, and your customer is the hero. You are here to help your customer succeed. So really book us for one of these workshops now. We call them messaging workshops. We can do a whole marketing strategy workshop with you. But these messaging and brand story workshops are so powerful in unpacking how, what is our big go-to-market message? What are our customers' pain points? What is our story? And actually putting it into a narrative format that can then inform your website architecture, that can inform your social posts, that can inform your blogs, your events, and really help the business approach the messaging accurately. So I do encourage you to do all of these steps before you sit down and start creating content. And again, you've seen this slide before, but we keep coming back to it because really what your content must do is solve problems. Do not create content that is hard sell. Don't tell me how great your business is. Don't tell me why I should use your business. I need to see content that solves customers' needs. So if you look at your customer table, if you don't know what to do, look at your target market table, pick a customer's row, identify a need, identify a service that solves the need, and then go away and write an article based on the customer's needs. Create them checklists, create them how-to guides, create them listicles, 7 reasons why, 9 reasons why, 4 important things to consider when, make their lives easier. Do not be creating content that says 7 reasons why you should be using us. Rather create content that goes 7 things to consider when choosing A. Okay, so what is your customer's problem? So you can approach it from an education point of view, from a solutions point of view, from a credentials point of view. Like people, explain trends. What are the latest trends in your industry? Like, what's the latest stuff? Break it down for them. If you go and read 25 articles and condense it all into one article, and it's all hyperlinked to your resource, to your statistics and your references, we're not plagiarizing, we're summarizing. So you've now saved me as your customer time. I can now go read your one blog about 25 trends you need to be on top of. And everything's hyperlinked to really, really good non-competitor references. Create a benchmarks guide. Send out a survey to 1,000 industry experts, collate it into a report. Create an annual report. How-to guides, even a case study is more helpful than a hard sell, because then it is just saying, this was the problem, this is what we did, this is the results. So definitely be looking at this graph if you're stuck and you're not sure what to do. But we do recommend, like Nomanna said, create a little cheat sheet of your client or of your company, a one-pager that you put up in front of you. If you have multiple clients, have multiple of these sheets. If you have multiple brands, have multiple of these sheets, and say your primary audience, their primary needs, the primary products they're using, your primary channels, and have a summary in front of you so that you always know, I'm creating an ad flow. Which audience am I creating it for? Do not create generic ad flows targeting everyone because you target nobody. It's always about relevance and targeting. Digital marketing is about targeting, and it's about testing. If you're not targeting and you're not testing, you may as well sending out flyers at the traffic lights, okay? So we're digital marketers, which means that we understand that we can do highly targeted messaging, highly niched messaging goes with targeting, highly relevant all goes with targeting, and we can track, measure, and optimize and A/B test, and to make sure that we get the best performance. So you can constantly be optimizing. Those are the benefits of digital marketing. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than billboards, TV, the old school way. So now you know what your audiences are, you know what their needs are, you know what your message is. You're going to go and create a whole bunch of content. You're going to mix it up, your different types of content. You're going to do interviews. Don't just do the same kind of content over and over, please. It gets boring. Create different stuff. People in LinkedIn, people love staff profiles. They love staff success stories. Your most engaged post will be a staff member who did something well and succeeded, or won an award, or just qualified in this. Everybody loves to celebrate your success stories way more than they love to hear, just boring blogs and stuff like that. So keep it real, guys. Keep it real. Real people behind the scenes, brand, like your company, your culture, the brand of your people. Like keep talking about that stuff as well. Mix it in, and don't just do one type of content. And then, like, I always want structure. So I do tell my staff, and, for our clients, we do create content pillars because it just helps us to sort of know what we want to talk about. So we will create content pillars around the different themes that we want to talk about. And we will find great content and put it under each pillar. And then we'll decide which day we're going to talk about what. So it just helps you to get some structure, like if you're talking about expertise, what kind of content can you use? And you can recycle old content. You can find old blogs that were great. You can find old videos, bring them up to life, create snippets from them. You can recycle old content if you run out of assets. So you can talk about what you sell, but talk about it from a customer pain point of view. Like many of our clients complain about X. And one of the things that we found with X problem is that the following was missing. 3 things. Call us if you need help. You can end your posts with call us if you need help with us. You can. That's not a hard sell. Don't start your post with, we're so great at this, you should really call. Just an example of companies that are really doing it well. If you have a look here at we've got Slack and we've got HubSpot, really doing a good job here in terms of how to create great social posts. Alrighty, let's talk quickly about some social media trends. So, we've talked about the stock standard stuff. So what's the next level stuff? Obviously video. And part of video is live video, kind of like we're doing now. For those of you enjoying this and consuming this live, there's an edginess, there's a crackle to live content that is just not there on canned content. But, if you're doing a very big production, you've got a lot of people who aren't comfortable in front of camera, you might want to pre-record the video. A lot of people pre-record their webinars. But I do love live content, and all the platforms love when you use their live features, live LinkedIn, live YouTube, live Facebook, live Instagram. Every platform loves live. So when you use live, you get more free organic views. So the platform kind of boosts you for free. So it presents you before more people. Definitely be looking into some private communities, little ring-fenced communities, which we will unpack in a little bit of detail. So definitely create a community for your clients or prospects. You can create a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group. We'll go into more detail about that later, but definitely be looking into that, as well as influencer marketing. So in fact, we're looking at it right away. So let's talk about influencer marketing and community marketing. I'm going to unpack them right now, apparently. So you should create a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group or even a Slack channel. If your clients are into Slack, create a Slack channel or some other ring-fenced platform. But if they don't use that platform often, you're going to struggle to get them into that platform. We use Slack as a business. I have Slack open all the time. And even I don't see some of my obscure Slack channels are posting. So I would recommend Facebook. A lot of our clients are still on Facebook. A lot of your clients are on Facebook. CEOs are on Facebook. So don't be telling me that because you're not on Facebook, that your clients aren't on Facebook. They might be there. Facebook groups still perform very well. And LinkedIn groups, jury's out a little bit. I'm not active in my LinkedIn groups. It's just a big spam, world of spam. But if you create a small ring-fenced one, it might be different. You might get that to work. So, but we have also gone and created some LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups. Now, the nice thing about groups is Facebook rewards group content with more organic views than it does page content. Now, let's say you have a Facebook page for your business and you have a Facebook group for your business, and you post here organically, non-boosted, non-paid for, you post here organically, non-boosted and paid for, this will get more views because Facebook recognizes that groups are more engaging and interactive than dead, dull, boring pages where it's just kind of a one-sided conversation. So groups are rewarded with more organic views. run live events. So create a schedule of content, invite speakers to come. Every Wednesday is our guest speaker day at 10 o'clock. Every Wednesday at 10, we have a guest speaker slot. Here's our program for the next month coming up. Next Wednesday, we've got a holistic therapist. The following Wednesday, we've got a dietitian. The following Wednesday, we've got a yoga practitioner. The following Wednesday, we've got a whatever the case might be. So you've got this nice constant event plan happening. And then you've got this little live video that you can use again later as well to use for marketing. But definitely it's about creating dialogue. And do go and check out our Digital Marketers Unite Facebook group. So this is our Facebook group for digital marketers and social media marketers who want to be part of our community. Go and check out our page and definitely engage with us there. I'll ask Mavata to share the link in chat. Let's quickly look at influencer marketing from a B2B space. So often when it comes to B2B marketing, people think influencer marketing doesn't work, that influencer marketing is really just Instagrammers, well-tanned Instagrammers lying by the beach sipping pina colada. But influencer marketing is alive and well in the B2B space. And if you haven't added that to your list of tools and tricks that you are using, definitely be looking at it. So top 3 channels for B2B influencer marketing is article writing. You can get them to guest blog on or write an article on your, that you post on your website or on your LinkedIn. Obviously they post on their LinkedIn and they reach their audience on your behalf, and there's a collaboration. And YouTube is a very, very, very popular because obviously people making video, and that asset you can then use in perpetuity. So influencer marketing really, really works. So 78% of people believe that prospects rely on advice from industry experts. That's nearly 80% rely on industry influencers. 74% agree that influencer marketing improves customer and prospect experience with a brand. 63% agree that marketing should have better results if included a B2B influencer program, and 90% expect their budget to increase or stay the same for influencer marketing. So in terms of influencer marketing, we're looking at reach, relevance, reference, and resonance, and that is what creates influence. So when you're choosing your influencers, make sure that they are a brand fit, and you can look at the previous slide for that. So look at the relevance of their audience. Is there a good fit? Are they a subject matter expert? Are they publishing on, obviously to be an influencer, they need an audience, and to have an audience, usually it's digital. So are they publishing at least to one platform? They might be a speaker, author, blogger, analyst. Are their values aligned with your brand? Very important. Go and check out their personal Instagrams and Facebooks and see if they get drunk on weekends and do rant inappropriately. You don't want to be aligning with someone whose brand is going to tank and take your brand with you. They need to have a strong ability to create content. So, being an influencer means that you're a content creator and you are constantly thinking of cool and edgy things and adding value to your industry. So if you're sitting there and you are an influencer, and we all are influencers, and you all can play in this space, it's just about sitting and percolating and taking your experience and your knowledge and your wisdom and understanding, plus what's happening, and creating new and meaningful content that really adds value to your audience or provoking discussion. They need to be advocates for the brand. They need a good audience. They need charisma and personality, and they need professional credentials. So those are some of the things to consider. And the type of influencer content found valuable by B2B buyers: case studies, webinars. You can get them to be a guest speaker on your webinar. Third-party analyst reports, user reviews, video content, white papers, blogs, and infographics. So lots of different things that they can be doing for you. And here you have an example of Cisco, which is a leader in networking and communications technology. And they've got a Cisco Champions program for their B2B influencer marketing. So their Cisco Champions are a community of IT advocates, and they basically get them to speak on a topic, and these champions share their knowledge and expertise on, the products. And at the end of the day, it's a mutually beneficial situation. It's a win-win. So the influencer benefits from the brand association and obviously being taken, being exposed to all of the brand's audience. But also at the end of the day, the brand benefits from the influencer's authenticity and high credibility, as well as their audience exposure. So it is a win-win, and you need to be very careful that one doesn't outweigh the other, because then it stops being a win-win. So if someone's brand is bigger than yours, it might be nice for you to hitch a ride for them, but it might not be so nice for them to drag you up. And if you have a look here, we've got SAP. They're also running influencer marketing campaigns using Facebook's live video feature, and they host live chats with key influencers that makes people feel like they were at the event. So a lot of times people can't be at your event. So it's really, really nice to pull speakers aside and almost like a little mini radio show, you interview them. And there's the vibe and the crackle of the expo behind, and noise and energy and so much going on. And you're kind of trying to bring this across with the power of podcasts or just live video. Okay. The other point to consider is employee advocacy. So let your staff do the talking. So employee advocacy helps brands to grow because people believe other people more than they believe brands. So definitely when we're talking influence, we need to also talk thought leadership, your exco, and we need to be talking about your employees as well. How can you unlock the power of their brands? How can you get them to talk about what it's like to work there and what they've learned and their expertise? So if you look at, there's some really nice stats there. I'm not going to unpack them all, but chat to us if you want us to help you get your employee advocacy going and your internal thought leadership. We bring the expertise to the fore, and it benefits all parties again. It is a mutually beneficial arrangement. So companies with an employee advocacy program are 58% more likely to attract top staff. And we all know how hard it is to attract and retain top staff in today's economy. We have a recruitment arm, and I can confirm to you that there's such a headhunt out there, as you know, especially for top staff and tech staff. It's very, very hard to find and attract them these days. And you do want to be attracting the best. So employee advocacy not only benefits your marketing, but also your recruitment. And we work with a lot of companies where we actually treat their recruitment arm as a product. And we run, we do full-blown marketing campaigns around their recruitment, around their culture, around their company, to try and attract top talent for them. So you've got different products that you're selling or your services you're selling. Definitely, if you need to hire staff, take your recruitment, your recruiting HR division, and add it there as a product or a service that you're trying to market, because there's a whole world of marketing opportunities open when you start diving down into what can we be doing there. So just have a look here at some employee advocacy. Here we have Salesforce partnering at some of their top staff talking about the product and the service. Here we have GE. We've got one of the managers talking at a conference, speaking at a conference. Here we've got some posts. Monzo, very cutely, Monzo's got a sort of a behind the scenes account which is making Monzo, which is pretty cool, which is how it's kind of more their culture behind the scenes. And then the main brand is the client facing brand, but then they've got the behind the scenes social media accounts, which I really like that idea. But there's a lot of stuff happening here on this social media. Alrighty, you've heard a lot from me, and I'm not going to drone on. I'm going to hand over to Nomanna.
Thank you, Dylan. So I am diving into social media ads. Previously, I spoke about social media, more like organic content. Now I'm really digging into your ads, and your organic content and your ads are not separate. Maybe your clients will come forward and say, I just want lead gen, give me what could help me with lead gen. And the first thing that would come as marketers would be like, we're going to give them ads, and that's what we're going to push in. But please, can we not forget as marketers that our organic and our paid media are working together in a synergy. So now I'm just going to go to boosting posts and paid ads. As you can see, I think we've reiterated this quite a bit of times in the talk, is LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, if your client is not on LinkedIn, drag them into LinkedIn. Show them the stats, show them how they can benefit. In the B2B space, that is where all your professionals are. If someone is looking for a supplier, someone is looking for an extra service, they are on LinkedIn. I can vouch on that. So the next thing is LinkedIn. What does paid ads help you with? They help you get more targeted audience reach. And as Dylan mentioned previously, we are very the digital marketing space is all about targeting your audience. If I have 1,000 or let's just say 10,000 people, random people, and I'm able to pick up that 2,000 on my target market, I can try get 200 or maybe 350 leads from them. So it helps your targeted audience. It gives you immediate visibility. If you've boosted a post on LinkedIn, you even see on the side, it tells you that you might reach, depending on your budget, you might reach, an extra maybe 10,000 people, 20,000 people. So if you want immediate visibility, you want lead generation, and it gives you remarketing opportunities, paid ads are where to go. But again, paid ads are married with your organic ads. So you're boosting something that was initially organic if you're boosting an ad. Next slide. So I'm just going to give you 7 quick steps of how you can boosting your post. First step is, who are you trying to reach? Pick one audience at a time. Guys, I've seen a lot of people starting out, and it's so easy to just drag different audience type and marriage them, because maybe you're feeling like I don't have enough money. Maybe my budget is only 10,000, so I'm trying to get the most out of it. Call in a marketing strategist, call in an expert. They will tell you time and time again is pick one audience at a time. When your client, I'm speaking to our marketers right now, when your client says, these are the people I'm targeting, sit them down. They pay you to get the job done. They pay you for your expertise, and tell them, give me one. Let's deal with the one that can make us the most money. Step 2, which platform are they in? Pick one platform at a time. Again, digital marketing is all about strategy. I hope that throughout the series, you guys have seen that it's all about thinking. It's all about strategizing. It's all about thinking what will work with what. So understanding your target audience and knowing where your target audience is. Dylan mentioned that if you're not on Facebook, maybe your audience is on Facebook. Understand it's not about you or your client. If you're representing your client with a marketer, it's not about you or your client. It's about their potential clients. Step 3 is, what is your goal? What is the right ad type to meet your goal? So if you're looking for brand awareness, you're going to have a specific ad type. If you're looking for conversions, you're going to have a specific ad type. And this is where, we don't have enough time to really dig into this, but this is where you would need someone as a specialist, or you will need to outsource someone to put them next to you and be like, what am I missing? You need to do A/B testing. So understanding your goals and making sure that your ad type aligns with your goals and aligns with your audience. Step 4 is, which need are you going to address? Which problem can you solve? There are thousands of people doing the same thing as you're doing, but not 1,000 people doing what you're doing right. And if you want to do it right, you need to understand that your potential clients or your customers' potential clients don't care about how great they are and what they're doing. If I'm sitting down and I need a supplier for product X, I need to know that product X is going to solve the problem that we've been discussing in the boardroom. So just make sure that you're addressing your audience's need. And step 5 is, how much money do you want to spend and for how long? Money is always a touchy subject, but when you're sitting in the boardroom with your stakeholders as a marketer, if they say, I'm looking for this end result, be straight and be honest. We're working with stats here, we're working with analyzing. Tell them straight that if you want this end result, I need this budget, and this is how I'm going to spend this budget. So yes, you need to make sure that you know how much money you're spending. You need to set up your ads. Make sure you set up your ads and you track and you integrate CRMs. Guys, we are always talking about data-driven insights. And your data-driven insight is what's going to help you make the best next choice, monitor, optimize, and report. Go back to your stakeholders and tell them, you gave me how much? 10,000. Now I need 15,000. And this is the evidence of why I need 15,000. Guys, in the business world, money, stats, and that's what informs decisions and will probably inform your finance department. Next slide. Optimizing LinkedIn. So this is a very exciting part for me. I love LinkedIn. A lot of my clients, all my clients are on LinkedIn. I won't even say some. All my clients on LinkedIn. I was in a business fair and I was going around like, do you have a LinkedIn? Do I have a LinkedIn profile? And they say no. I'm like, you need to be on LinkedIn. And if you go down to our next slide, please. And if you see how many LinkedIn users are currently on LinkedIn internationally, you will understand the impact of how powerful LinkedIn is. Yes, there are people who are job seekers because LinkedIn now is a dual platform for job seekers, but also companies looking for people that can help them solve their problems. Next slide. So the next 2 slides is legit just telling you about advertising audience profile. We're looking at the age group of 25 to 34 are the most, the highest one there. So understanding, again, this goes back, this can feed, feed into you understanding, your audience, that is the highest number out there of advertising audience profile. If you look at the next one, the reported advertising reach. And you can see that throughout the years, April 2021, all the way to April 2023, it's increasing. Maybe not increasing by 10 or 50%, but it's slowly increasing in the past 3 years. And you can just see there by 3%, by 2%, by 2%, and you're adding that up from the initial number back in 2021. And now I'm going to dive into the next slide, optimizing for LinkedIn. So LinkedIn's algorithm, and I feel like I've spoken about this in a webinar or with previous webinars. One of the previous webinars is that if you're in the LinkedIn space, you know that LinkedIn has changed their algorithm and it may be reflecting in your end of the month reports sending out to stakeholders. So what can we do to optimize our efforts in LinkedIn? First one is focus on relevance. Your followers are seeing your content more, so create content for your audience. And this is where it ties back to when I said, go back to basics, understand your audience. It sounds boring, it sounds tiring, but the boring stuff is normally the things that will help us succeed. Understand your audience and then create content based on them. Next slide. Prioritize informative content. Generic content won't fly anymore under the algorithm change. And to be very honest, nobody wants to listen to generic information anymore. One of the biggest conversations I've been having with marketers in the past week is the concept of a content boom. Just unpacking that very quickly, it is 10 years ago, the amount of content was pretty much like maybe 50% or 100% less. We are creating more content than ever before. The kick is the people who are consuming the content have stayed the same in the past 5-10 years. So what does that mean? We are fighting for the attention of the audience, of our users, of our readers, because they are in a mass of information and we need to stand out. So we love ChatGPT, but do not just ChatGPT something straight out and just copy and paste it. Please, guys, make sure that you prioritize informative content. Think about your audience and think about what your audience needs to hear or to listen to. For the next slide. Tailor your content for a targeted audience. Creator success lies in sharing knowledge that benefits their targeted audience. This sounds so redundant, but it's something that presses on very much, is that I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn at night, sometimes scrolling, just consuming, seeing stuff. And the things that really grab me is content that is speaking to me as a marketer, is maybe speaking to you as a business person. And when you're sitting at the marketing table as a marketing specialist, is speaking to the client that we're trying to get to buy from us or buy from our clients. And the next one. So now we're going to talk about expertise matters more than ever. If your post does not hold a level of expertise, LinkedIn will restrict your reach, meaning that speak about something that you know about. If you are a huge foodie, maybe you're dealing with a brand that is in the food industry, make sure that content is speaking about the food, is talking about things that make them sound like an expert. Remember, there's thousands and thousands of similar brands out there. What makes you unique is legit you knowing what you're talking about. PhD level. That's what I'm talking about. PhD level. If I'm reading your content, if your users are reading your content, they must straight away say they know what they're talking about. I trust them. See, trust. And then the next one would be quality over quantity when it comes to comments. I think Dylan touched on this prior, is talking about the whole sense of community. And I'm going to extract the word social from social media. Social media is legit trying to build a virtual arena where we can have conversations and have communities and have human engagements. So now LinkedIn has spotted that. So if you have a post that's saying, great, amazing, good job. These one-liners. And then in the past, we would put them in the report and be like, yeah, we had 55 comments. We had 120 comments. Now, LinkedIn wants to have quality comments, meaning there should be discussions. There should be some sort of, knowledge exchange in your comment sections. And that's how you know that your quality is your content is quality. And that's how LinkedIn will pick up that we should, make sure that we're giving you more organic reach. Oh, I hope you guys are still with me. I'm using breath a bit. Your opinion and perspective will help you rank higher. A lot of us are sitting here as creatives. And in a world, I think that's one of the biggest questions would be, how do I differentiate myself? And whether it is your client, one of your brands that you are helping out, your multiple brands that you're working out, how do we differentiate ourselves from our competitors? And perspective and opinion ranks high. People come to social media to either get more knowledge. People are coming to social media to hear your opinions or be entertained. So if you're telling me that you're an expert in XY, let me hear your opinion on what's going on in XY. Let me hear, if there's the latest news coming up, what is your uptake? What are you thinking about this? What are your opinions and perspectives, and how do you want to integrate what's going on into your company? Or, people want to feel a sense of knowing you, and knowing generic or reading generic information isn't helping people know you or know your brand. So your opinion will rank you higher, and LinkedIn is now emphasizing on meaningful engagement. And I am wrapping it up. I'm out of breath. I'm wrapping it up for you guys. So please, can you this is obviously our last webinar, and I love social media marketing quite a bit. And if there's one thing that I would want to deliver for you guys to kind of translate into your content calendars, your strategy meetings, is understand your audience and understand what your audience is looking for, and make sure you have an external person to look through your content. If you're making let me just think about me. If you're having 50 different contents, maybe 3 different brands, you will always need someone from the outside. We can get us a specialist and be like, hey, give us a social media audit. What do you feel about the content that we are providing? And then sit down and say, are we touching the basics? Because the reason why people kind of miss the mark is because we take all the great gimmicks. Love ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is not going to make you a marketing specialist. What does is expertise and understanding the basics. And that is what you will get from us or from somebody else from another department. Sit them down, let them look at your stuff and ask them, would you read this? Thank you. Dylan, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nomanna. I'm leaving some questions for you to answer in the chat. I couldn't get to them all. So let's talk about TikTok. I threw this in just to be controversial because I do get a lot of questions around TikTok. Can we use TikTok in a B2B space? So I thought I would put it out here because it isn't something that I think a lot of B2B brands play in. and they do avoid it because they just don't know how they would go and create TikTok content that actually works. So I think if you're going to use TikTok as a B2B brand, we're not talking B2C, we are talking B2B. You need to make sure that your content is highly authentic. It doesn't have to be super slick, but it does have to be authentic. So something that might work for you is, commenting on other people's videos, or, creating real type content with behind the scenes of this is what it's like to work here, or this is a day in the life of this person. But definitely you should be looking at TikTok from each platform. You need to look at every single platform, from a unique point of view, because each platform is different. The lazy, time poor marketer, let's not call us lazy, let's call us time poor, will take the same content, just post it out on every platform. But the switched on marketer, no, it creates content, not switched on, let me reword that. The marketer with time and good budgets knows that it's important to create content that is platform specific. So the way to really understand a platform is to spend a lot of time in that platform. It took me a long time to really get Twitter, like an embarrassingly long time when Twitter just came out. And I got it eventually by just every morning spending time on Twitter. And then I started being like, okay, it's about who I follow. If I follow the right people, I see the right content. If I see the right content, I can engage in the right conversations, and I can create lists and blah, blah, blah. And so each platform has sort of specifics around how to use it and creating content that works. So definitely follow your competitors and follow other industry leaders in the space and look at the content that they're creating. You do need to post quite regularly on TikTok. So people who are doing TikTok really well are posting like 1 to 3 times a day. But since we all have full-time jobs, who has time for that? But you will find that, you'll pick up a lot of views, and a lot of them are not ever going to convert into customers or sales, but there might just be something. It just depends on what your goal is. Remember, we always start every talk with, what is your goal? Michaela asked a really good question on the chat. She said, what are the KPIs and what are you measuring your success against? And we always come back to our goal. What are you trying to achieve? Who is your customer? Where are they sitting? Those are the main questions I always ask, like, who's your target market? What are you trying to achieve? And, what does success look like for you? What is your goal at the end of the day? And so, don't be on TikTok if your customer's not on TikTok, because it's very, very time consuming. You may just be wasting your time. But don't only think about, that's why it's important to do your target market table, because as I said, recruitment, future staff, future hires might be sitting as a stakeholder group on your target market table. And you might actually want to create TikToks because you want to, you might be creating TikToks because you want to show your culture and you want to reach prospective hires, So, but you can showcase your brand's personality, you can hop on trends. There's lots of trending things that you can hop on and do fun things, like your team can do a trending dance. But just remember that, as a B2B space, you need to always keep your brand's authenticity in mind. So you can go and check out, a couple of brands that are doing it well: Adobe, Grammarly, Morning Brew, all targeting more in the B2B space. Here you've got Sage, Shopify, and Square showing you how it's done. So a lot of what you can do, if you're really not sure what to do, is you can target your customers, especially if your customers are doing fun things and creating great things. Like Sage is in such a nice space, Shopify, because their customers are small entrepreneurs, and showcasing your customers, the authenticity of your customers rubs off on your brand. You're a big corporate boring brand, but your customers are not. The people using your product are not. So find the creative creators who are creating great content and collaborate with them. It's a lot of C's. Okay, so let's talk and wrap it up with analytics and ROI. We always wrap all our talks up with analytics and ROI, no matter which tracking platform you're using. Everything needs to come back down to the numbers and to the data. It should start with the data, where you look at your data, you're looking at your audiences, you're looking for data insights, and it ends with your data, where you look for insights and trends. What's your top performing content? Which content is creating sales? If you're using HubSpot, we're a marketing technology company and we love to use tracking. We're constantly, recommending CRMs to our clients, implementing CRMs to our clients. So if you don't have a CRM in place, they can be expensive. But if you really want to take your If you want to move up the pyramid of marketing maturity, having a CRM in place is absolutely critical. And it's really going to help you to track your sales and your conversions, and to do a better job of, creating, clear funnels. And that's one thing that we do a lot of. We build marketing funnels, sales funnels for our clients, top performing sales funnels that are just churning over leads, once we've got them working for you. And it does sometimes take a month or two of sweating to get the thing optimized. So you can't lose faith in the process. It does take sweating. There is no silver bullet in marketing. There's a lot of sweating and hard work to get something to the right place, where it actually works for you. We've also created a mini little do's and don'ts checklist that you are welcome to have a look at. We will share this PowerPoint with you, and you will get the video as well. And we will share this in a blog. So definitely subscribe to our blog if you haven't. Subscribe to our mailing list. We will share this checklist with you. And then lastly, just to mention compliance and legal, there are also a whole bunch of points here that you should be looking at to make sure that you are compliant, especially in the B2B space. And so definitely be looking at, some policies and some regulations that are in place that you need to have made sure that you have ticked the boxes for. And again, we can share this for you and make a little checklist available for you. So I think you have probably asked all of your questions, but if there are any questions, now is the time to ask your question. Put your hand up, and we can definitely get to them. So we've got an anonymous attendee asking a question: how often do you revisit and update your audience personas to stay aligned with evolving customer behavior? It's a very good question. I keep my audience target market table in front of me, and it is literally a live living document. So as soon as you become aware of the shift, so I prioritize my customers and the table by, and this is something that you need to, Nomanna said, meet with your top dogs in the meeting. And if you're the top dog, meet with some of your senior management when doing this table and decide, how are you prioritizing the target market table? Are you prioritizing it by most profitable? So I'm going to put my most profitable market segment first, or your biggest. You might say, okay, no, actually our priority number one is our biggest. I always prioritize everything, and I want to know what's your most important audience. Who do you want to get more of, your biggest or your most profitable, or the one with the biggest growth potential? So definitely be working on your target market table and keep it live. Question 2, how do you leverage remarketing? I'm so glad you asked that, because I was about to mention it when we came to our paid ads. But if you do have the Facebook pixel and the Google pixel on your website, everyone has to click accept for cookies, but most companies do not have any cookies operational, but they've just got the whole accept for cookies. But if you've got the little pixels running on your website, you're then building an audience. And once you've reached 1,000 visitors to your website, you can actually then use remarketing to pull them further down the funnel. Now, these are people that have visited your website. There is no lower hanging fruit than that. No lower hanging fruit than that. You definitely want to be using remarketing and retargeting. So put the pixels on your website. Even if you're not using them yet, they need to build up at least 1,000. So some of your companies will get that in a minute, and some of you need at least a month to clock 1,000. But if you want to switch on your remarketing, it takes a while to get to the right point. So I would definitely be using remarketing. Very good question, anonymous attendee. And then Tam Sankwa asking us 3 questions around personas and paid social. Number 1, can you share tips for maintaining transparency and trust with your audience and running paid ads? I do think that is a very good question. So when you are running paid ads, always be authentic, and always make sure that that you aren't doing anything disingenuous, because that will turn around and burn you. So I do think that maintaining trust is important. So don't run ads and ever compromise trust and transparency. So potentially what Tums is referring to is things like, you can take your audience, you can take your entire database and you can upload it into a platform, and you can target lookalikes or exclude them. So you can actually, so perhaps that is what Tums is referring to. And some of the yeah, you just need to always make sure that the data is secure of your customers. So can you elaborate on the challenges and benefits of implementing dynamic content personalization across multiple social media platforms? So challenges is from a time-based point of view, creating personalized content is time consuming. But if you use marketing automation and you know, AI is getting to the point where you're going to be able as a marketer to pick up the microphone and say, speak to your AI and literally say, you're gonna literally say, create me a campaign targeting single moms with dogs in Hanover, and create me a campaign targeting, you know, 45-year-old balding men who live in this area. And it's going to literally pull all of the specifics together for you. And it's going to be so much easier. We're not quite there yet, but at the moment, one of the big challenges is it's time consuming. But marketing technology is there to take all of your data and if you upload your databases and you create micro-targeted campaigns, which is what marketing technology really is there for. You should be able to create mailers that go out pulling this audience, pulling in female pictures because I'm female and I'm over 40 and it needs to be a picture like this. And, you know, I'm this demographic. So match, that's hyper-personalization. And that is currently technology that is available. And a lot of the big companies have this marketing technology, but it's so clunky to get the data in that they don't even use it. So in other words, they've got huge repositories of data warehouses and they just can't pull the data quick enough. So what tactics have you found effective? And I know we've hit 11 o'clock. If you need to drop off, you can drop off. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to answer this last question. What tactics have you found effective in nurturing live leads? In nurturing leads through the funnel by tailoring content to match each persona's needs and preferences? That is a real good question, Tums. So the tactics that I found effective in nurturing leads. So if you know that somebody's at the top of the funnel, they're just becoming aware of their problem. One of the things that you can do is create content that helps to unpack the problem. Once they've engaged with that content, you can place a cookie and make sure that they then see the next level of content. You see, this is top of funnel, now they're middle of funnel, and they start to see your content here, and you're using marketing technology and the machine learning that's in each platform to make sure that they then see add to. And add to pulls them further down the funnel, and it's slightly more specific, slightly more detailed, and then add 3 takes them even more down. So maybe more emotive content, broader. And then once you've engaged them and they've watched that, you make sure that they see add 2, add 3, add 4. And so you can, and then if they push them to the website and they download this thing, they get message 1, message 2, message 3, message 4. And all of this is pulling down the funnel. Everything pulls people down the funnel. So it is about creating a big, broad funnel strategy across omni-channel and creating content at each touch point by audience, by product, by service. So it's a lot of work. To create landing pages, specific ads, video, white papers, webinars, emailers, blogs, demo videos, and each of these is structured by channel, by product, by target audience to pull people down the funnel, and by a segment in the funnel. So definitely do create your strategy. I hope that answers your very, very good questions, Tums. Thank you so much. Anybody else who has a question, you're welcome to pop us an email. We've come to the end of our time. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nomanna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amakle, once again. And thanks, guys. Please do follow our social media platforms. Do call us if we can help you with anything that we have discussed. We are a holistic 360-degree digital marketing agency that can help you with anything on your list. And we are standing by to take your call. So give us a shout, throw us a subscribe. Thank you, Mia, for your questions. Michaela, Marnez. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And yeah, we wish you a fantastic day. Have a great, great, great Thursday. All the best.